Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to our trading room. I believe we are live. Let me see if I can't see the messages. So give me a second. Let me see if any of the messages popping up. Can somebody, Vic, can you send a message? Let me see, say hi. Let me see if the message comes up.
Looks like trading live is a problem again.
Don't worry with that. Okay, yes, I can see the chat now. The message is good. Great, thank you. Okay, yes, good afternoon to you. Hope you guys are enjoying the week of free webinar that we're doing on YouTube. We're coming live directly from our trading room. I'm going to start by showing you the trades we took this morning and what we're going to do with those trades, because we have news coming up in about 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes, 25 minutes. We normally trade the news in our trading room, but since we're live on YouTube, I am not sure that that's a great idea. For my traders, what I'll do is I'll show you the setups, I'll tell you what to do, and you know how to do it, right? Let's put it that way. So if you're in the euro, this is your choice. I would say take profit, because there is a possibility it's going to drop. We wouldn't be selling the euro in the news. We'll be buying in euro. So for my traders, if you're in the trade, you can take profit and put an entry order above for the buy. If you want to stay with it, put it to break even, but be willing to give up should it drop, right? Those are the two options on the euro. We also we sold the yen this morning, but that should have been closed in the trading room. It was this very small trade, right? Sell here, take profit at the bottom here. So if you took profit, great. If you didn't take profit, you may want to do that now, because during the news, there's a good chance we'll be looking for one more up, not down. Right, there's a good chance this goes up. It might stay right in here. It could drop one more. It wouldn't make a big difference. I don't think we'll be selling it or buying it during the news. We'll skip this one, right? The Swiss, we sold the Swiss. I think Swiss has a lot more to go, so you should still be in this trade. I think in terms of the consolidation, it's only 1 hour that I don't think we even had any consolidation. Like this one actually went there. This one came, well, this was the only one that went up. This one is coming down and it's already breaking the low. So by rule, we should stay with that. I would say keep this at break even. If you're in this trade, I'd say keep it at break even. Be willing to give up that, take break even in case it doesn't go. But I think we have enough to keep it at break even. This is 73 to 96. Yeah, I think we have enough to put it break even and stay with it. If you're in the trade, if you're not in the trade, we'll have to look for a buy setup, which is going to, we'll have to look for a sell setup, which is going to be difficult because I only expect it to come here. So I expect this drop and then up. So if you're not in the trade, selling it now would put you with a sell here and then not much risk to reward there. So I think if you're not in it, we will not do anything. Another trade we're in is the Euro New Zealand, right? And remember what I said, once this come back to break even, take it off or, you know, decide what you want to do because it's not good. It's not going very good. So I would call this a break even trade. Take it off for break even. It's going to come back here. I don't think we'll sell this. If you want to sell this, there's a sell setup here to come back and retest this low. See that? But then it's going to go up. So euro might even come down, or maybe New Zealand goes up faster than the euro. There's a chance this is going to come here and go. We would let this happen because it's not really a big trade and I don't think you'll get the profit. We let it happen and then we'll go for a buy. So the buy would either be above the top or if we get an entry from the low. This is what I'm expecting it to do. I think this would come back here. If after the news this is a non-event, you don't want to risk this during the news, but after the news, if it's a non-event, yeah, that might be a sell. Might not be a bad sell too, by the way, right? For down and then up, and then we'll be expecting this to go back up, right? That's the whole plan on this one. Anybody remind me what other trades we were in? I think you were supposed to buy the silver. Was it silver or gold? One of those two, yeah. There was a buy setup on it. Gold. There was a buy setup on the gold. Yeah, buy setup on the gold here. I don't know if anyone of you bought it. If you bought it, great. You can put it to break even and keep it. I think it's going to go up a little more or take profit. Gold we were expecting to come to about here like this and then drop because this would be a flat. I think all of this would make one big flat. I don't think we're totally going up. Right? It's kind of making a big flat, but this has some more up in it. If you want to put it break even and keep it, good. If not, you can take it off just before the news. Right? Those are the options because in front of the news, if you don't have a lot of profit, you don't really want to keep them. Euro pound sell, yes, we're going to go through that. The Euro pound sell. So if you're in the Euro pound sell and you're tagged here, comes back, close the trade. It's going to come back and break even there, close the trade. Once it comes like this, it go up and start to consolidate there, close it, because there's a good chance it could make a new high. There's a good chance this could make a new high and then drop. During the news, you don't want to do that. So once this come back to break even, it's there pretty long, as you can see that. You don't want to keep it inside of the news. If there was no news, I'll say stay with it. Right? If there was no news, I'll say stay. But once this come back to break even, close the trade. If you want to put an entry order under this, the low here for the sell, might not be a bad idea. Right? If you want to do that. If this goes up, we're not interested in the buy. I mean, if this actually go back up one more to, make a new high, I'm not interested in that. I'm just waiting for this to come. Right? And it could go up, go back, especially if we think, it's making another flat there for one more up and then drop. So if you're in the trade, take it off. Make sure you get break even though. Right? It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back here a little and then give you the break even. Don't worry. See the Euro New Zealand give you the break even, the same thing here. But you gotta get it off before the news actually comes, right? So the entry was here, the stop was above this stop. And this is the thing about wave analysis, is that this was your entry, this was your stop. This is where you're gonna close the trade because it didn't go your way. So consider that like a bad trade right now, and you're getting out for almost positive. Because once it pull back here, you'll get out, or a very slight loss. So depending if you can wait for a minute, until it comes here. I think we still have enough time to wait. We have 20 minutes more to wait, so you can use that 20 minutes for it to pull back and close the trade. I'll close it right now. I mean, how much pips you're losing? 5 pips. Basically, you're losing about 4 pips. That's a 5. Okay, what else we have? What was another one? Pong yen. Yes, the Pong yen. The Pong yen buy. Not only the Pong yen buy. So you should have taken profit. Remember, there's a good chance this is not going to go very far. So I hope you closed it there and took some profit, because we're expecting this to make like a 1, 2, 3, and then we'll see what it does from there. If it makes a flag again here, we'll buy. Right? If this thing makes another flag here, we will buy it again. But in front of the news, you want to close it. I think the Euro yen was a buy. Right? If you took the Euro yen buy, I hope you took out some profit from it. The same thing. If you took there was another yen. I think the CAD yen was a buy. CAD yen didn't trigger. Swiss yen was a buy. Let's see. That triggered. Actually, you can keep the Swiss yen. It's going up, so you can keep the Swiss yen. We know Swiss has to come down some more, right? You can put this to positive and keep it. Move your stops to about here and keep this. If it goes, you will get the trade. If it comes down, you gave up a little piece, no big deal. As long as there's enough to say, well, put it at break even probably and stay with this one. Because Swiss could go down quite a lot. So there's a number of pound pairs that we actually trade this morning. All in worst cases, you got break even in there, right? That's your worst case scenario. If you pull out some profit, good job. Well done. The only one we didn't think that was going to go up was the New Zealand yen. And there you go. Didn't go up, right? Structurally, remember I looked at this and said, this is more of a sell structure. Well, actually, it's still a sell structure. It's literally making a flag here for a sell. See? So this was the only one we didn't buy, because I looked at this pattern and said, you know what? This thing is more downside than upside. And we were here. I think we were here. We actually came down, went back, coming down again. That's a flat. So this is still downside. Aussie yen we didn't buy because we were in this horizontal one and there was nothing much to buy there. And it's still actually doing that. It's like a channel at the top there. So there is still nothing to buy and sell here until we figure out what that is. The bigger picture upside. If you have to put a trade on this one, it will be for the buy. Right? I don't think it's going to drop much more. At least not this yet, because this is still going to be one piece up. So we'll have to wait for that. Okay, what else? There were other trades that we took. Anybody remind me? So I'm going to go through all of this. I think CAD Swiss was something we were waiting for a sell. Oh, it actually happened. So if you could be in the CAD Swiss sell from here. We wanted to sell. We wanted this to go back up and then sell from the top, but it didn't go back up. So this was all the consolidation. That was a drop. This is a correction, and they're going down. If you're in that trade and you don't have 20 pips, that's a problem. You have just you have a couple pips only. Take it off. It's not worth keeping because if they go back up, it will be worse. Right after the news, we can always wait for a flag and sell it. So let me see this one. Anybody got tagged here? Okay, if you're taking this one and you got tagged, you're upside down, put a stop here and stay with it. This is starting to look like it could go up one more. But I wouldn't be surprised if they still drop. Or take a small loss and close it. I think it's going to drop. This looks more like an expanding flat here. So put a stop here and stay with it if you can afford it. If you can't, close it in front of the news. You still have a few minutes to do that, right? And then close it in front of you. Put that stop there, and then if it comes down back, you close it. If it stays there, you close it. I still think this is an expanding flat to drop. And within the structure is downside if you take the trade. Not a lot of people trade this. And let's go. I'm going to go through the majors because we have dollar news coming up in about 15 minutes. So it will also give you an idea what you need to do. If you're not sure about what to do, better not to trade during the news. My traders, you will use the strategy we normally use and you can trade. Dollar index. I'll be looking for a buy setup, right? Now that we've come down here, it has gone back to the top and then it came down. Remember I said this is definitely going to look up. This could go up one more. We already decided that this morning. We don't have enough of a flag to sell it here. I'm going to take out this. This was a buy. I'm going to take out this. This was a buy. That would have probably been a small loss or break, even depend where you close it, right? Now I think there's a good chance this go up. Where would we buy it? If we have to buy this, I would hit the buy it inside of the correction. Probably put an entry above this stop here, should it go, right? You don't want to be tagged in the correction here and then watch it drop. So if I'm going to put an entry, it's going to be above the top there. But let it prove it can actually break out and it's going to go far enough for the trade. Silver, yeah, this would definitely be a sell. It's going sideways. We're still in this piece, right? We're still in this. And you kind of drop here, then you go up, you came back like this, you're going up. I think it could come here and then go back up. So I think we'll stay with silver. Because there's no good trade for the buyer to sell. You're looking at this, this has a sharp, that's the first move down, right? Then they went up back and then they did 1, 2, 3. Right? So you get a 1, 2, 3 structure here, then you start to do this. Now, I don't think that's the equivalent of this one. So we will probably drop very sharp, go back up, drop again, complete this pattern, and then go back up. I would say let's stay out of it. I don't see the buy setup unless you want to put an entry under the low, like really under the low, which is probably not worth it. So just stay out of that. I'll take this off for now. Gold, you can just put it to break even if you want to stay with it. Take break even if it gives you break even. It could give you break even if it goes up. If you don't like it, close it for break even and then wait, let it go because this didn't break the low, so this is not going to take off like a rocket. All right, so we'll wait for that. Take this off. We don't have any trade in that. Euro, if you're in the euro, you want to keep it, keep it. If you're not, close it here, put an entry above the top. We're still going to go with the buy. And the buy is going to be at 0.502 to 0.5, I don't know, put it somewhere around. Put it around 24, 25, somewhere there. So we're going to go with a buy. We'll put this for the buy. We'll leave it at that. Pound. Well, actually had a sharper move than expected, right? So since it moved that much and it's consolidating at the top there, we can make an assumption that all of this is its own correction, right? All of that is some kind of a contracting flat there. We broke the low, we're going up. Let's go with the buy. Put an entry 20 pips above our shot. 21, 24, 21, 44, put it just above the top. We're going for the buy. The expectation is that it could make something like this, right? You could get that. Most likely, I think it's going to be a non-event and we might end up with something like this. And this would be a better buy setup if we get that, right? But for now, just for the sake of the news, we'll go with a buy. So this would be a buy. New Zealand. Well, we can go with the sell here. Put an entry under the low. Stay under the low. Don't go closer. And let this be a sell. So again, let me warning to the YouTube viewers. If you're coming in now and you're looking at these, what you need to know is that this is set up for a specific strategy that we use during news. These are not buy and sell trades you should take now. Please don't do that. This is if I was in the trading room, I would go into more details and tell my trader exactly what we're doing, but I think they all know the strategy and they know how to trade it and they know what they're to do. So I'm just giving them an idea as to the direction we would take the trade. After the news, all of this will change. And then we will go through everything again, we'll reanalyze, then we'll go to normal 60 minutes strategy. This is a specific momentum strategy that you don't want to try if you don't know the rules for it, right? So we're going to go for a sell here. It looks upside, but the sell is what we're going to take, right? New Zealand. Okay, it has a running flat. I think we can all agree we have a small running flat forming here. And that small running flat should go up one more. How deep is it one more? That's a good question. What if it just does this and drop again? That's a big thing, right? So I think we stay out of it. Let it happen. If I have to do something here, I'll buy it. Right? If I have to trade it like during the news, I'll buy it. We don't have to trade it, right? And there's a good chance that you're going to get a running flat here. I'm thinking this is going to complete. This is a running flat and then upside. Right? It's going to probably come down a little more here. Complete that as a running flat. That's a very high probability of happening. And then go back up. Right, so it doesn't have to come exactly to this spot. It could be a little more, a little less. And then we're going to expect this. If we can get a trade from here without the news, right? If this thing is to drop here and then come back like this and make this, we'll go with it. It might just break that top and drop, right? This comes 1, 2, 3 and drop. I doubt this one is going to drop, although that is possible. So during the news, I think we stay away from it, and then we'll go with after. Oh, yen, you'll only buy it. And you'll probably buy it above the top here. Now, the hope is that it makes a really big move. And the reality is it might just do this and come down back, like all the other yen pairs. Right? This is going to be like a 1, 2, 3, and they come down back here. So, well, the hope is that it does that. I don't know that it will do that, but it's a buy setup if you want to take it. Swiss, definitely a sell setup. We're already in the sell. You put it to break even and you stay with it. You can't put an entry order for the news. You can. After the news, we'll sell it from under here, but for the news sake, we'll stay away from that. So I'll take this off. CAD. Okay. If you were in the CAD trade, I think you should have closed that already. Right, like right here. And if you didn't close it right here, because this is looking like one more upside is in play. Right, so you can put it like this. This one is this piece, but then you would have this one here coming back to this level, and this looks like it's going to go up. So take out the sell and put an entry order above the top here. Do we have 20%? 37.08 to 37.25? No, you have to go a little more. Put an entry here. And we're going for one more impulse up. Now, let's see how big that could get. Well, we're going to see. We don't know. But definitely looks like one more impulse. I'll take this off. And that definitely looks like it can go one more. How deep, we'll see. Or we might get this way in the future. Not exactly now, right? So I like that for a buy setup. You know how to set it up, set it for a buy. So we put CAD to buy. And Euros. Okay, sorry, this is the news. Euros. By the way, the Euros buy setup is perfect. And if you actually took this one in here, you may want to put the break even and stay with it, right? So instead of a running flat, they actually went higher. And now we're going to figure it out when, this still drops. So there's no trade in these. We don't trade these during the news. I'll leave all of that. And we're going to look at some of the indices. Let's see, natural gas, oil, you can trade during the news. Okay, if you're in the selling this thing, we have a problem. Close it and put it below. Close it and put it. Close the trade, put it below. You know where to put it. I don't know where, you know where, so we'll figure that out. And sorry, natural gas. Nope, we don't have a buy, we don't have a sell, we'll stay away from it. So this would be a sell. Natural gas, we didn't do anything. US 30. Okay, if you're in the buying the US 30, can you put it to break even and keep it? If you can, keep it. If you can, just leave it alone, right? We can buy it here in the news without some kind of a consolidation. Same here. If you bought this here, put it to break even, keep it. If you can, then take it off and wait. NASDAQ, we didn't buy this one because we didn't have a channel, but it's going up as expected. So wait for a flag. We'll wait for a flag after the news and buy. The hope is that the news doesn't drive it to the top there, and that's it. If the news drive it to the top, you have one of these two to be in. You should have been in one of those two. Those were the insurers we had from this morning. And you have an advantage now. You just put it to break even and wait. If you want to close it and put an entry higher, makes sense. You can also do that. Right? Close it and put the entry above the top, a little higher above the top, and let's stay with that. So those are the pairs we normally trade during the news for the dollar news, and then let's wait and see what happens. It's 11. We have 4 more minutes. I would go to the euro, put it in 5 minutes. It looked good. Just now we're going to go into 1 minute, and then we'll wait for the news, right? Let me see. There's some question. How do you determine how far does the price go in an impulse? Okay, keep that question for the end. Nalish, keep that question for the end of the webinar when we finish. That's a good question. So if you're watching this right now, or you're watching the recording of this thing, you will have to watch it to the end to get the answer. That's a very interesting question. We're gonna give you some tips. Got tagged in CAD Swiss. Yeah, close that for a few pips, Joji, and thing. Careful in the BOJ intervention for the potential reversal. Well, you need to watch some of my webinars, my friend. Right? You really need to watch some of my webinars, and you especially need to watch the one this morning with the BOJ intervention. You will have my views on that. You missed this morning webinar. You need to go and watch it. And if you were in my group this morning, you would have got an even better answer to that question. So you can hold it to the end. We'll probably answer that as well. But if there was an answer to that this morning in the webinar, right? Can you check CAD Swiss? Okay, I think I just did that. So I assume your question was before that, close it. You're tagged, you're positive, close it before the news. It doesn't mean it's not going to drop. It means if you don't have enough to put it to break even, then take it off because the risk is too high. And after the news, if it drops, we'll wait for a flag and sell again, right? Basically. So we are 12, we have 3 more minutes. Let me look at Bitcoin very quick, and then we'll go straight into the news. You will have a sneak peek of how we did, but not the full thing of how we trade the news. So I wouldn't advise you to use that as a way of trading. Right? So this is going up a little more. I don't think we're going up totally. I still think it's downside. It looks like this correction is a separate, bigger correction. Even that probably is a small one. Just make a bigger one. As of now, it's still downside. Even though they're crawling up, as of now, I'm still looking at it down. The only time I'll change that to an upside is if this does this, and I'll show you. If this actually works its way up to the top here, come back here, well, then we will be looking for a buy setup from here to go. Otherwise, to that, I really don't think this is the one that's going to crawl up on the top. Can you make an argument that we have a running flat in this? I think that could be something you may say, well, should we look at this as a running flat with this one here? You might have a point. That might be that. In that case, you would need this to make a really good flag here. You need this to make something like this. And then we can take this as first with the intention that it's going to do that, but it's most likely going to do this. So the worst case, you'll get break even. Right? That's an option. That is something you can do. So with that said, let's go. We have just about a minute remaining. I'm going to put it in the euro. Put it in a minute. This is just for my traders, so they can gauge. And wait. We're waiting for the market's reaction. It's not about the news. It's not about what the news is or what the results of the news is. We don't care about the results of the news. We care about the reaction to the news at the moment of the news. Right? It's a point in time that they will move the market regardless of what's the outcome of the news. That's my opinion. It will differ from anybody who trades fundamental. They would have an opinion that if it's negative, it's going to go negative, it's positive. My thing is, it doesn't matter. They don't care if it's negative, positive. The market will go how it wants to go, and it has nothing to do with what the news is going to be. Absolutely nothing. And we can go back and check it. You can go back and take 100 times that they had the same news and see what the reaction was. So it's going up as expected. If you get tagged, you'll have to start managing it. You are tagged, it's pulling back, that's normal. Put a stop here, because for our strategy, you'll have to get rid of the trade right here. Right? You can't stay with it further. It's not a big move. Gold and silver going up, that's good. Swiss is going down, but if you're in it, if you're still in the trade, you're doing well. Right? If you're still in the trade. If this doesn't go in the next minute, we'll close it. Right? So you want the next one to break the top and go. Otherwise, we're going to be out of it. If you kept the Swiss trade from this morning, that one is going excellent. I know I'm in it. Right? I'm in the Swiss from this morning. So that is going good. Okay, if this doesn't break the top, we're going to exit the trade. Right? You want it by the end of the minute to break through that top, make a new high. Good. Any of you guys tagged in any of the trade, my traders? Give me, type in the room which one you're tagged in so we can go look at all of them. Okay, I guess a lot of you didn't trade news this time, right? I could get that, yeah. So we let the second minute close, and then we'll decide what to do. I still think it's upside, so I'll tell you what to do. Good. The second minute close, very good. So now you're going to let the third minute go, and here's what you're going to do. You're going to either change it to you're in goal, right? No, okay, good. It's going good. So hold on to it. When gold break the top, then you will take it out. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to take this off for break even based on our strategy, which are a small loss, 3-4 pips loss, take it off based on strategy. If you want to keep it for long term, go back into 15. Move the stop and keep it for long term if you want. Long term, we're breaking top so they can still go. But that they're not necessarily going to go now. They may go in 2 hours time, right? Which means this one might stop here, pull back a little, then the next hour will go, then pull back a little, then the next hour might go, pull back a little. So if you want long-term trade, you can stay with the trade if you're tagged, right? If not, just take it out to the top there for a few pips lost, and let's go. Long-term is still upside. So in terms of what we will be buying it or selling it during the news, any flag will buy right after the news. So I'm going to go through back everything now, because now we're going to start to trade. That one is over, right? This is the dollar index. It came down a little more, so we'll just put this here. That could go a little more. It doesn't. I'll put this back here. Right, we are out of this. This is the flat. I think we actually finished that flat. This is going to go more, right? They break the low. So the idea is if they break the low, they're probably going to go more. Now, you can't sell it where it is, but you can wait for it to make a flag. And if we get a flag, we will sell. If for whatever reason in the next hour or so they reverse this, any flag here would be a buy, right? So there's more news at 6 p.m. I wouldn't be here 6 p.m. for that news, but we can still set it up at the end of the webinar as to what the trade is. Once we break the low, we are assuming they're going to continue to go, right? Because there's nothing to stop it now. So silver is going up. Yeah, we just couldn't buy that one. It's coming back to this top. Silver will come back down, right? See that? It will come back down. Be careful. It is not going to drop. It is going to stay in this range. And we're going to stay in the range. I think it's going to come back down at some point to this level here and then go back up. So silver will still be a buy. Structurally, this should drop here and then go back up. Actually, if it comes down before the next news, the buy would be a more interesting one from there. Right? So it might come back. Even if they go higher, it would be a running flat. It still has to come back. Gold, pretty much the same thing. This is a deep pullback. This is a lot of flats there. So this might slowly go up. But in the big picture, if you pull this across here, it's a flat for downside. That is still a flat for downside. It might break the top. It could probably go break that top. I'll take off the low. We don't need the low. We need the top now. So it might go, but if you're in the trade, just try to grab some profit. Don't take it. Take some profit and let it go. It could probably go up slowly, make a flat here. Right, this has a flat in it. This one here has a flat. This has a running flat here also. Right, like a drop, a running flat drop. This will probably come make something here and then go break the top and then drop. It could stay here longer, but that's like if you're making 1, 2, 3 and then drop. We'll sell it from the top. If it breaks the top and we get a sell set up, we'll take the trade. Right? Okay, give me 1 second. Yep, let's go. Euro. This would probably go back. If you're a short-term close a trade already, if you're long-term, you can hold it for a while. It still can just drop through the bottom. It'll come here and make a flag and then go. Right. So if you're going to go long-term, you'll still get a chance to cut out very, very good. So right now we'll just wait for a flag if we're going to buy it, or a flag if we're going to sell it. Either way, we'll need a flag. Pound. Take it for break even. We need a bigger flag. So we'll go to the 15 or the 1 hour. If we're still going to go up, you see this one, they made the small flag here and then they break the top and came back, made a bigger flag and then go. We'll probably see the same thing here. You get a bigger one here now. You had the small one, break the top, go, come back with this one. And we're assuming that it's a running flat. If we're wrong, it's going to continue to go up. So let's hope we get a flat here now. What you're waiting for here now is a 1 hour, 15 minutes flat. Right, it's more of a flat. You're waiting for this to actually make some corrections here. And then we're going to buy that either this afternoon, most likely tomorrow. If you join us tomorrow, you'll see that trade. There isn't a sell setup here. Right, so we're not going to be selling it. We're waiting for a buy setup, put it that way. Aussie is going up, but be careful. It's not a long term. It could, there are times when Aussie does make a deep pullback and continue to go. Right, with this deep pullback here, they could continue to go, but I think it's most likely that eventually, even if they do this, eventually it's going to drop because there are too many pullback to the low here. So we'll have to wait for that. If this is not a buy setup, and we also don't have a sell setup, we just broke that top, so that's treated like a channel for now. But I think there's a running flat in here with this one, a small running flat here, and we just broke the top, but it's not a takeoff to the upside. If you're going to buy this, wait for it to break the top, make a flag. So take that off. Okay, this went up without, it didn't come back that deep. It went up, so we will still expect this to happen. I'm going to still take this as part of the correction, and which means we still have to get this. If it actually comes down here, we would look for a buy setup. Right? So if this pulls back here, we would wait here for a flag and then take that trade out. This would be like a 1, 2, 3. When it break the top, get it to break even and see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if this actually goes up. But a pullback would be good. This is not much of a pullback. This one is very small. Let me see something in the 5 what it looks like. No, this one is too small. We need that bigger pullback. So when we get a bigger pullback, then you go for the buy. Yen. It's still going to break out. So we're going to wait for this to come here and then wait for this to come here. And then if we get any flag here, that would be a buy. Wait for the flag and we'll take it for this move up. When we break that top, if you get any sell setup, go for it. Right? It could be something like this. Not even that much, something like this. And then this drops. So is it going to come down deeper? I don't think so. They're mostly consolidating there. If we're coming deeper, we can't sell this here yet. We'll need a 1 hour flag to sell. Swiss. This will go. I think we're going to get here and then it's going to go up. So remember this morning what I said when I was explaining with, can you psychologically take these trades? And this is the thing. 90% of traders cannot take the trade because they don't understand the market, how it's going to move. It's like you're telling somebody to jump into a really dark, if everybody is standing around a thing and there's a dark circle, like really a black hole on the ground, right? All you see is a black hole. You don't know the depth of it. And you tell people to jump in. I guarantee you 95% of the people standing there will not jump into that hole. If all they see is black, and you don't know the depth, right? That's how your brain works. Your brain thinks that thing is really, really deep and dangerous. It might only be 5 inches deep, but you can't tell that it's 5 inches deep. You are not going to jump into it because you don't know where the bottom is. Trading is like that. Most traders don't understand the setups of the trade. They don't understand what the chart is going to do, and you're telling them to take a trade. Sell it here. The reason traders like to buy what do you call this thing? Signals is because they believe that they can follow the signals. 60% of people who buy signals do not trade the signals. And the reason they can't trade the signals is because you don't understand it. It's like I'm telling you to jump into the black hole. You have to learn this concept. You have to understand it. You have to get used to it, and then you can actually do it. Right? It's like anything in the world, not only that, like anything, if you don't know how to do it, asking you to do it is like disaster. So I know a lot of you are going to watch me trade this. You're going to watch these trades, but you wouldn't take them. You just cannot take them. You're not ready for that. You're not prepared for it. But you can be, right? You can prepare yourself for it. You can learn how to do it. You can have the confidence to do it. Now, my traders are doing it, which means you can do it, right? It's knowledge that can be transferred. And then you will need a hell of a lot of practice. And that's why we give you lifetime access. So you will get that practice. You will take as long as you want to practice until you get it perfect. Now I'm still in it. I don't see any reason to close it. We just made a new low. If it makes another flag, maybe another trade. If it pulls back, we'll see what happens. We're still expecting. When it comes around here, then I'll move the stop and see how far it goes. But I think it's going to go back up. Once you get here, they're going to go back up. So I think there are about 3 trades I showed you already that went that you couldn't take them. There's some you could take because you might understand what it's doing. There are a lot of them you can't. Right? So CAD, let's see what CAD is doing. Did nothing. We took it, we closed it. The stop was here, the entry was here, you closed it right here. And if you were waiting for break even, you had like, I mean, if you go into 1 hour, there's like a lot of time you had to close that trade. So it didn't even go anywhere, it's still here. So you had a lot of time to close the trade and decide it's not going, especially in this consolidation. By rule, my traders see that and they have to close the trade. Because this means upside. You can actually still buy this here. This actually is a buy setup. Now, will you take the trade? That's a good question, right? That is a buy setup. Let's see how many of you have the willpower or the understanding that that is a good trade. Win, loss, or break even, that is a trade for us. Because once it tags, then we start managing it. But that is a very good trade because we're expecting it to go at least one more impulse up. Break this stop, and then we'll see what happens at that point. CAD in the big picture is going up, right? It's going up, see? It's going much more because we haven't got this one done as yet. So this trade carries, like any trade, it carries a little risk, maybe a little higher risk than normal, but then we'll see when it gets to the top what happens. Let's go. Euros. So Euros, we're waiting for the breakout. I think you can take the trade from here. Right? This one didn't go back. It didn't pull back the way we expected to pull back. It's going much higher. Right? So the question is, where do we put this? And I think in that case, we might start the correction from here, making this a 1, 2, 3 flat there. And then this 1, 2, 3 makes sense if you pull it like that, right? And this could go up. This would have been a good buy, but I don't think any of the traders took that one. So this was a good chance to take that one. When we break the top, we'll get it to break even and see how far it goes. But it's definitely upside. Let's go with Euro New Zealand. Okay, so Euro New Zealand, you probably don't want to take it there. You want it to come back a little and then go for the trade. Let it come back here. We'll look for a buy from this point. Let's see how that goes. Euro yen. So if you close the trade before the news, which is what you should have done, we're going to wait to see if this makes another flat here. If it makes another flat, we buy it again. If for whatever reason this one here comes down back and make a flag anywhere in here, that could be a sell setup. So we have to wait and see which one we get. EuroCAD. Okay, this is going up without pulling back. We wanted to pull back before it go, but it's not happening. So I think most likely we'll be looking at all of this as an expanding flat. All of this entire piece is an expanding flat. I really don't like the contracting flat possibility in here. I don't think it is, so we'll wait. Maybe a running flat is in play, which means this would pull back and then go. If we're going to buy this, if you get a pullback, we'll put an end short above the top. If we get a flag, we'll buy it. So the big picture of this is upside. Let me show you the 4 hours. And I think I remember telling, when we started here Monday that this is going to make a bigger correction and then still go up. Well, here is how you're going to trade it now. Since if you were in the trade, you should have closed it and I closed my trades. We will wait for a flag here in the 1 hour or the 50 minutes, and we'll take that trade up. If it makes a sharp pullback on the lower time frame, this sharp pullback here would make a running flat, and we will take the trade above the top to go. So I just want to show you where we think it's going to go and why we're trading it. We're expecting this move up. See how this one went up? It went up as a mess. So don't think this is going to go as a straight line. We're coming to this top, and then from there, from somewhere around here, you're expecting this to go down back. That's strange, right? The price is here, and I'm telling you it's going to come here, and then it's going to go down back. Without telling you what news is going to happen in the world, right? I have no idea what Euro news is going to come out or what CAD news is going to come out. Absolutely none. I promise you there will be a lot of news. Before all of this happened, there will be a lot of news. But the probability of that happening is really, really high. It doesn't have to be as simple as I draw it. I'm giving you the simplest of patterns that could probably happen. And I could go back and show you like 100 of those on the charts. Maybe more. Maybe a couple thousand. So let's start with this one. You got a move down. You got the flat, you got another move down. You have a move down, you get a flat, you're going to get another move down. I could go on. We could find endless amount of them. You have a move down. This would have been a running flat like this, but it turned out it's an expanding flat. See this one here, I'm drawing a running flat. If this goes a little higher, we will get exactly this one here. We'll get the expanding flat, and then we'll get that down move. Right, so that one turned out to be an expanding flat. This one is a regular flat. I'm drawing a running flat. All running flats can be expanding flats. And you can keep you can keep doing that all the time. There's no limit to how much you can do that. So when it comes here, I think there is a good probability we'll be going back up, because I'm looking at this as a 1, 2, 3. This is your impulse, and we'll be going back up. So see, now let's go back and trade what we were trading to the upside. We already had 2 trades in that thing. Right? I would say 3 trades actually. 2 break even, 1 profit. That's considering this one, and I think there was another one somewhere in here. I'll call them break even, 2 break even, 1 profit every trade. Now we'll just wait for a flag and get the next one. Pretty simple. It's going to go up a lot more. Euro Swiss. Remember I said this morning, this one was a little complex. I think I figured what it's doing now. Good. We're going to go up 1 more. There's a good chance this one is going to go up 1 more here. We're still in the consolidation. So it's going to break the top. We still have this sharp move here. So we're still probably going to come back down. And we might still go up 1 more. If all that play out the way I expect it to play out, this is how we will trade it. This is how I would trade it, right? If all that plays out, see this one here? They drop, you get 1, 2, 3, and then it dropped, right? It came back with pullback, but it dropped. If all that play out, when it breaks this top, we will sell it. If this one doesn't drop, it goes back up. When it breaks the top, we sell it. One of those are going to bring it down here. And it will either come really fast or it's going to come as slow as this one did. Now, Remember I said there's a huge flat here. If you missed that, go back and watch the webinar where I explained this pattern. There's a huge one here. So there's a probability that we're going to do this. We're going to go back up and then we're going to drop because this one was really sharp and this one wasn't sharp. This is going to be a flat. This is going to go back up there and then we're going to drop. Well, let's see. We still have 2 more days here free, right? And then we'll see how that behaves. So this is not looking good for, I don't know if I want to buy. We'll decide on that. If you're aggressive, my traders, if you're very aggressive, you know, yeah, we might get a buy set up somewhere, get the buy. We did break the low. There's an expanding flat in it. There's a huge expanding flat here. You got 1, 2, 3. It's going up. If we can get a flag with an advantage, we'll take the trade. And then we'll see what happens. Europa. I still like this sell now, especially now that it's dropping. You should have closed your trade. Don't keep it. Right? Close the trade. Wait for another flag, sell it. So if this actually pulls back like this, sell it under the low for this drop. It's still a sell setup. You just have to wait for it to get a trade. Pause. Okay. Now you can put an entry here for the buy. Above that top. It's making a nice small flag there. And it's going to go. So this one actually did give us the running flat, the one we were expecting. We didn't get the flag here. I wouldn't take it here. That's not a good flag. But this becomes a good flag if this happens here. And then this is a go. So this one worked out well. Let's see if this one's going to work out well. See? Pretty simple, right? Pong Yen. If this pulls back here, buy it again. I think we have a lot upside in this because of the bigger structure. We just need a flat again. If the news, you may say, well, why did we close it? If you kept it at break even, that's okay. Good for you. But if you close it and take the profit out in front of news, nothing is wrong with that because the risk was too much, right? This one is upside. Structurally, it's upside. I think I already mentioned that to you, right? Structure. This was a sell, by the way. Take that off. Structurally, it's upside. So if we get a flag here, we're going to trade that to the upside. And remember the intervention of the BOJ that is going to make the yen gets weak and you're getting buy setups, and we took the buy. We took 4 yen buy this morning. Yeah, we like to trade against the BOJ, right? No, it has nothing to do with that. It all has to do with patterns. And don't focus on what you don't know. Focus on what you know. We know patterns and we know how to behave. This was going to go up, 4 of them. Well, I can't tell you what the Japanese are going to do. I have no idea. I know what this pattern does. That's what I know for sure. Right? See? So it makes another flag, we'll buy again. If this break the top and start to drop, it will have to make a flag to sell. But you stay here and consolidate like this, we're going to buy again. You don't need a big one like this. You need a smaller one. Franc Swiss. Okay, take off or break even, re-enter my traders. Close, re-enter. Still a buy, but close, re-enter. Pound New Zealand. Okay, this is interesting. It actually went up. Running flat buy. Wait for a running flat. Wait for this to actually do this. Come back here. That's a buy. So if it comes back for a running flat, we're buying. There's a small flag here. I hate to buy the small flag in front of this. Right, there's a buy there, but we just have this here, right? So I wouldn't take that trade right now. CAD. By the way, I have to change all of these. I'm not changing them. My fault. I'll take every one out because I'm not changing them as I should. Like there was a buy and this one was a sell. Okay, this one I think we would. Yeah, this one I regret not taking. We should have taken this trade just to come back at the top here. We should have taken it from here just to go back at the top there. And that would have been excellent for us. So that's my fault. I didn't figure out this piece here. And I still don't figure out it. It still doesn't make sense. Right? So we'll have to look for some kind of a contracting flat in the middle. I think that's exactly what we do. Right? Hindsight, you see that flat. And then this is a contracting flat, the ones I hate actually. Right? If this had broken the top, that would have been a perfect flat for downside. But it didn't break the top, and that because this flat here is perfect in here, right? This one didn't break the top, and contracting flats are always my problem. It will always be my problem in the future too, because I'll still second guess this one, whether we should take. Well, don't worry, wait for another flag buy. So if you were with us on Monday, remember when we took this trade and then we took this trade and we closed it and we closed it there. And then I said, expect this to make a bigger flat and go well. See, it went, but it's just a little complex flat than expected. By the way, if anybody bought the buffer, you did well. I didn't see this. We didn't look at it. Any of my traders took that trade, you did excellent. That was the trade you should have taken. If you didn't wait for the next flag, take the trade. Let's go back to the 1 hour. Wait for the next flag, take the trade. There's a lot more to go up, right? We might be coming all the way to this top here. So there's a lot more to go, right? This pattern seems to be proving what we think it is doing. So let's see how far we can get it to go. Aussie Swiss, go for the sell. This is a valid trade that is now going to trigger, so perfect. This one is now going to trigger. Put an entry under, not under there. For the news, you should have removed that. Put it under this one, right? Don't keep that entry in front of the news. Put it under here. If this goes up one more, if this here goes up one more, try to sell it from the top. If it just breaks through, stay with the trade. Aussie yen. It's still doing what we looked at this morning. It's not changing structurally. I would hate to trade those smaller flags in there, but if you can do it, why not? You know, the smaller flags within this range. When it comes to the bottom, get one up. Come to the bottom, get one up with the flags. Because it could do this for a very long time. Remember, we're trying to go back to the top, right? This was the forecast you had. Come down here, go back up there. And that was before yesterday. That was before the week started, right? So for us, nothing changed. BOJ intervention or no intervention, nothing changed. Absolutely nothing. We just keep trading the patterns. See? This was the forecast when you came in here Monday with us. So let's see, there's buy setups. And if we get a flag, if we get a decent flag, we'll buy. If you want to trade inside here, a little risky, but I think some of our traders can do it. You'll wait for it to come back to the bottom, wait for a flag, take it up. It looks like a channel, but I think it's more of a series of running flats, not channels, basically. Aussie CAD. Okay, now this one actually is the low. So we'll have to accept that as the low now. And this flat actually ended here. We'll have to take this as the flat. I didn't like that. Or you can take this as a separate one. You can take this as a separate one. And this one is a running flat. I think that it will make more sense to go with this running flat. A 1, 2, 3 down, a deeper one, a drop. This is the low. We take the low because we got a running flat and it's going up nice. So where would it go to? Let's see. It doesn't matter if you don't get the trade. Let's figure out what it's doing first. It's going to drop. I don't see any reason that go back to the top, right? Let's take this out. Let's assume that is not a running flat. Let's make the assumption that that has nothing to do with this, right? Let's go back to the 4 hours. And let's say this is trying to go back to the top here. Let's put it that way. That they're trying to go back all the way back to the top. Come back to the 1 hour. This is one piece. This is a sharp move. So what is likely going to happen at some point, if they're trying to go back, is that this would start to consolidate. Come back to the bottom here and then go. So this piece, if it comes to the top there and we notice this is the correction, we'll go with this trade and then we'll go with that trade. So prove it's actually trying to go back up. Let me see if I can find a flat like that in one of them to show you. not this. We have to go back where the starting point is, or with this one actually went up without that kind of a flat. Here is a flat, but not exactly the one I'm trying to show you. See that one there? Well, this one might be one that is better served. It is this one with an expanding flat in the middle. This is a small one. That is a small one. This might be a good idea, but this one is at the bottom here. It's not at the top. So we'll keep an eye on this and see how it's going up. But I don't think this is the one that'll take off. So be careful. Right? So be careful here, and then we'll see. Now, this is not too corrective. I think this is okay. It just has one small flag inside. And this has just one small flag. That is nothing. That doesn't mean anything. This one looks more corrective. So if you get a flag buy, go back to the top. And if I'm wrong, it will just keep going. So any flag we'll buy, we'll keep a track of it. Right, so let's put it back like this now and see if it's going. Wait for a pullback, wait for a flag, take the trade. Okay, with this one. Okay, they'll probably make a big flat here and then we'll figure it out. This is like a correction. So it's going to make a bigger flat here and then we'll buy. I would say wait for this to come down somewhere and try to buy it up, but it might do this and come back here and then go. Right? Because this seems to be the most corrective part in here. And then we'll get a perfect buy setup. So if it comes down, buy this first, but make sure you get it to break even. Right? See, this part is looking very corrective. It's going to come down some more. We're going to expect a running flat. Right? So take this out. Let me just take this out from here. Yeah. We want this to come down somewhere here. You can buy this up here to break this up. But then we're looking at 1, 2, 3 with this piece here. So I still think it's going to come back here. If you can get it out to break even, that would be good. We'll take this trade up from here going up. Right? That's a possibility. So my traders, you know what to do. You got that pattern down, right? New Zealand CAD. Yep, this is going. And this one just gave us a running flat here. So perfect. Now that we've got a running flat and they break the top. Remember when I bought it here this morning to go break the top, but it didn't do that. I closed the trade. That was the right thing to do. Now, we didn't look back at this, but if you look back at this and you put an entry above this top for the running flat, you did well. Very much. Now that it break the top, that's exactly what you wanted to do. Take this off. That's not a buy. That's me showing you the top of this move. And we wanted to break that top. Now that it break the top, wait for a flag. If you had an entry order there, you should have taken out because this is very corrective and it's a lot of it. Wait for a flag and buy it. Any flag we're buying and we're going up. The trade to the upside is big, so they'll make flags, don't worry. There's a lot of flags to come. If you remember these patterns, I think all of you remember that one, right? I did it like 4 webinars back when this was coming down. Told you we wanted to break the low and we'll buy. We actually bought in that one. It dropped again. We bought it, dropped again. And now it's going up. This trade to the upside is this you're looking for, is this move to the upside here. So you've got like about 50 trades more to make. Don't rush it, take your time. You got a lot of trades to make both directions, up and down. Right, so wait for this. Yeah, euro is going. If you stayed with the euro long term, it's good. Like I told you, it's going to go, right? So you stayed with it long term, good job. That was mostly for my traders, right? Staying long term with it was giving you guys a hint that you should keep the trade. I hope you understand that hint, right? Move your stop, stay with it, let it go. Good job. If you took the pound, good job. If you put an entry order above this one for the pound, that is good. Right? If you took this small flag, I hope some of you did. Don't tell me none of you did. Somebody must have. Anybody took that trade? Okay. So you have to pick, get it. That's the problem with going live. Right? You can't take all the trades. Okay, let's go. Let's go back where we are. Tell me where I stopped. New Zealand, somewhere in here, we think we stopped. But New Zealand CAD, that's where I stopped, right? So we'll get this trade. We'll wait for another flag buy. New Zealand yen. Yep, this didn't go anywhere. This is more of a big flat sideways. From this morning, we figure out that this is the one of the yen pair that is not going to go up. New Zealand Swiss. This is going to drop more, but I don't think you guys want to trade this pattern. Leave it. It's going to go down, but it's going down really slow, so there's no point. CAD yen. Okay, so we've got this. It didn't break out. It's still within the correction and it's coming down. So where would we go? This didn't break the top, so this is not going to drop. This actually is coming down. One more. Let me go to the 5 minutes. I want to see if there was another move down that we're missing. Actually, no, there wasn't. This one kind of a move there, pull back a little and go, but that is part of this move. So this has, that's the first move down. You have a 1, 1, 2. What if we put these two together? Like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then this 1, 2, 3 makes sense. Look for a buy setup. So we're going to put this here. And we're going to look for a buy setup from here. You can put the entry order to buy here, but you want a flag before that. So you want a flag here. You want this to go up. Give you a flag here and then buy this flag to go. The range is big, so the flag, a flag in there is possible. What's the range? It's 47 pips. You can get a flag, and that would make sense. Take this off. We get a flag on the upside, buy. We're waiting for a flag, we'll buy. It will go break this top and then we'll figure out where it's going. What's the big picture? Do we have a big move to the upside? Not necessarily. I think we have a lot more downside than the upside. But if it is this one, if it is the equivalent of this one, then we can definitely go back, retest the top and then come back. Right? So keep an eye on that for the buy. Right, so let's go in the 1 hour. By the way, guys, I'm not reading all the chats because my eyes is only on the charts. I would answer your questions as soon as we finish this. CAD Swiss, we're coming in the CAD Swiss. I think somebody wrote something with the CAD Swiss and it's going really good. Let's see where this is taking. Yep, it's coming. There's still a lot more to go. So if you got that sell or if you get this sell, good for you. Right? If not, if you close it and you re-enter, which you should have done, great. If not, wait for another flag. It will make more flags. See how many flags we had in this one going down? It looks like it's going away, but then they stop, they make a flag. This will stop, it will make a flag. There's a lot more to go. With the next 2 days, you can get about 3 more trades going down, right? So just wait. If you miss that one, wait for the next one. Don't chase it. You're going to get it. Okay, wait a second. There's a trade that I will have to close just now. Not ready to close it yet, but I'll have to close one just now. So let's wait. Okay, what else? Swiss yen. This is already going. So if you got the trade and you stay really good, if you close it, I think this was the one you should have put the break even and keep, right? Because this one didn't come back. It was going up during the news. If you keep it, you did well. See? So here's the thing about BOJ. They do what they have to do and we do what we have to do. Don't be scared. Never be scared of the charts, especially when it's showing you what it's doing. This one is going sideways. Good. So remember, if you got caught in the sell, close it. This is still going to come down. I think we'll get a sell set up here. But now that it's doing this, you don't want to sell it. You want to let this break the low, wait for it to go back up, take a flag and buy for the upside. It could work its way down a lot more here, but it's going to probably make one more up. So the sell is not a great idea. The buy might be a better idea. Natural gas. Okay, this is going to become long, so I would stop. Natural gas, you don't have any trade. Just stay away from it. It did break the top. Some expanding flat is going to happen there because we have the sharp move and we don't have anything to account for that. So here's what I'm going to do. Tell me what you want me to look at, and let's go look at them. Otherwise, we'll spend a long time doing all of this. Now, let me see if I can do this quick as possible. Wait for, if you're in this trade, great. If you're not in trade, you should have closed it before the news. Wait for a flag sell. Right, wait for a flag sell. US 30. If you put them to break even and you kept them, I think you survived the news because I didn't think it came back to there. Anybody in the trade that keep it at break even, all of them you're supposed to keep it break even. If you did good, just stay with them. If you want the next buy, wait for another flag, we'll buy it. But they're going to go up some more. So worst case, you're going to get break even. I would still hold on to them at break even. Right? If you're in this one, hold it on to break even all the way to the top there, or wait until it makes another flag. This one, we didn't get this one. We didn't buy it. We should have probably bought it. We didn't, but wait for a flag and take the trade back to the top. See? makes a flag, it's going to go back up. Works like magic every time. Let's see, Tesla. Wait for this to finish and then we'll buy. But you can put the entry order above top. It's incomplete. Okay, this one is making a flag here. Should we buy it? Let's see. I'm expecting a running flag. But I think you can buy this. You can put an entry order in this for a short trade to the upside and then down. Because I do think it's making a running flat. So if you get a trade, it might be something like this and then down. Maybe not even that much. So you got to be careful with that if you're buying it. I'll take it off. We're on YouTube. A lot of traders might not have the experience to get out of a trade like that. Let's wait. Okay, this one could be a running flat. So here's how you're going to look at this. This is a possible running flat. We'll assume that it is a running flat. And that means you want this to drop a little here. You want it to make a small flag here, and then you trade this to the downside. If it is going to be a buy setup, you will not buy it until tomorrow or the day after, because there's no good buy setup as yet. But the sell could happen within 3 hours. Same here. If we're making running flats with all of these sharp moves, then look for the sell setup. I'll change this to sell setup. Wait for the sell setup. You don't have the setup. Wait for the setup. Wait for this one. Just take that off you. That's a buy. Nifty. It's going back up, but it's part of the correction, right? This is going to go back up as part of this correction, and then we'll start to look for downside from the top there coming down. You don't have a buy setup in it. Bitcoin. I'm going to do this really quick. Still a sell setup. There's a small flat going on here like this here, and it's probably going to do this for a while, but then it's still a sell setup. It hasn't changed to a buy setup there. So the bigger picture is still sell. And I think all the cryptos are that. So tell me which one you want to look at, and then we will look at them. There's no point looking at all of them. All right, so let's take some questions now, and then I will go back and look at the charts and the trades we're in, because they're all moving. Euro moving, pound moving. You're not in the pound, we're in the euro. Swiss going down, we're in the Swiss. And whatever other trades you're in, I think they're going great. You will tell me which one. Gold. Gold for you, no. Okay, sorry, I just saw that. Let's go gold. I still think it can go a little more if you kept it at break even. I know you were in. If you kept it at break even, it probably pushed up a little more here to this top. And then you can close it. Keep it at break even for now. I still think it's going to go. If it starts to consolidate there, then you could close it at the top of the consolidation and decide if you want the next piece out. But for now, keep it at break even. I think you're good. It's going to go up more. They need to break this top at least before they drop. Okay, let me take some questions. What did I miss in this? The question was, how do I determine how far the price is going to go? Well, because we look at the bigger structure. So we're always looking at the 4-hour structure to determine where we're taking the trade, and the 1 hour and where it's going to go. But it normally doesn't go in one straight line to the 4-hour one. So you can enter and exit as many times as you want if you have rules on when you're going to enter and exit. We do have rules. When we take a trade, we do have rules how we will manage that trade. We have trade management rules, which say if X, Y, Z happen, you do this. If ABC happen, then you do this, basically. Telling you what to do in any given conditions that the chart is going to move. And the chart can only do 3 things. Regardless of what you know about the chart, there are only 3 things the chart can do. It cannot do anything but the 3 things. It can go up, it can go down, or it can go sideways. And by sideways, I mean a very small range. Not exactly sideways. There's no sideways movement in price, right? But it can literally do this, right? It can go in like this, which means stay within a very small range, right? Or it can go up and it can go down. Just in case you know why I'm putting those dots, go and watch it, the webinars. I think it was Tuesday afternoon, right? And the one on Gap. And you know why I'm drawing them in down. That is all the chart can do. There's nothing else, up, down, or sideways. And then you have to decide what you are going to do with that. And we have rules what we do with it. So hope that helps. Okay, next thing, tagged in euro. We got the euro going good. So if you kept it in the long term, you're doing well. I'm pretty sure you kept it, Joji. CAD Swiss is doing well. The CAD Swiss is going. Check. AD. Somebody want AD. Okay, let's go do that for you. Sorry. Okay, it's kind of pulling back, but I still think there might be one more up. This is looking like consolidation. It's kind of going really slow too. Let's take out that flat, and I'm going to pull it like this just so you can see, right? It's going really slow. It's not a sell setup as yet, right? Sometimes they go slow and then they take off. Right now, it's a buy setup. And we might retest that top. I'm looking at it this way: 1, possible 2 to this point, and then 3 back to the top. If this is not the 3, then they'll just break the low again and then go back up. That's all. It's not complicated, but we're not interested in sell. If you get a buy, take the trade. Probably put an entry order somewhere above the top and see how far it goes. Put the entry order above the top and let's see if you can get that trade to go. Euro going, it would be great if the CAD Swiss. Well, we'll see. In time, we'll see that. Any other questions? Anything else you guys want to look at? Just let me know and we'll look at it. Any questions from YouTube? If you guys have any questions, if not, please, trade with care, have fun. And don't forget, if you miss any of the sessions, we have the London and the New York sessions. You should go back and watch the recording because there's going to be something in it, not necessarily a trade, but some educational stuff that will help you understand where you will, how to manage your charts and how to get it. What are your thoughts on that? Is that Netflix, NFLX? Is that the code for Netflix? Let's see. NFLX. Yep, Netflix. Let's see. Let me go to the weekly. We had something there. I'm not sure what was it. I think was buying the correction of this move, because we were expecting that move to correct upwards and then come down. It's correcting upwards. It's a correction going up, right? This is the impulse that the drop. It's correcting upwards. If I can go back low enough for this, I'm pretty sure that would have been right, waiting for this to go back up. I can't tell what it is right now. Let me see where I have it and I'll tell you what it is. Yeah, it was a buy setup. It was a buy setup in this piece for this to go back up, right? It actually you probably would have closed that trade there or close it there, or if you kept it good enough, it actually went up. But if you're long-term, then it's upside. Right, that was a buy to show that this is going to consolidate up. Well, it actually came up quite a lot. So you may start looking for the sell setup for the next impulse down. Okay, at this point here, here's what I would do. Right now at this point, because this had a pullback in there, you see that expanding flat in there? I would wait for this to either go back up, make a flag, and then buy it to one more to retest that up. Or if it stays here and goes sideways, sell it, because it has pulled back enough for downside. So I hope that helps. If you can handle the 5 minutes, then you can take this. You can take setups on 5 minutes. Normally, we use 15 minutes, 15 minutes and 1 hour. But if you can figure it out in 5 minutes, nothing's wrong with that. That's good enough if you can handle it and if you can take the risk and do it, right? It's not a big deal. Where you find it. Normally, we will, for trading purpose, we normally look at the 15 minutes mostly for more confirmation. That's all. Right? There was a question on Skype. Let me see if I can pull up the question because I don't know if the person's in the room. He's supposed to be here and he was asking me about the. Let me remember. I have to find the person here and then find the question. Okay. Somebody was asking me a question about the trading. I don't know if the person's in here. How do I learn this by myself? So first you have to have a trigger. That's a good question. Let me answer that question. First, you have to have a deep enough trigger to want to learn it. I would never wish in you the same trigger that triggered me to want to learn this, right? Anybody know my story about why I decided I'm going to go learn Forex? I do not wish that on any one of you. So there was enough of a reason. I didn't learn this to trade Forex. I learned this because what happened to me, and I want to figure out what those, well, I should be nice to them, right? They're people. What those fellas did to me when they squandered all my money. And I'm telling you, really, really, really large sums of money where I had no idea what trading Forex was about. So when I lost everything and I had nothing else to do, well, the only thing left to do, you know, like when you lost something or you lost somebody and you know you have to figure out who did this and why they did that. That was a trigger for me to learn Forex, to figure out what happened, what they did. And then I spent the next 12 hours a day for the next 2 years just learning Forex. 12 hours a day, at least 12 hours a day, sometime more, for 2 years. And I mean every single day. Just trying to figure out what Forex is about. I did it for almost 2 years. And then after that, I still keep doing it until today. But by then, after 2 years was when I started actually trading it. When I joined the first guy who was going to teach me support and resistance. And then after that, I went on to learn more and more and more, and to this stage where I am today. I don't think you need to go through that process, because what I found was a lot of accidental things. Like, how did I came up with wave analysis rather than Elliott wave? That was purely accidental. I was actually watching a webinar of a guy talking about, what do you call it? Inverse divergence. I think it was false divergence or inverse divergence, something like that. And I had learned divergence, and I have no idea what inverse divergence or false divergence was about. And he was showing something in the chart. Honestly, I can't even remember what he was showing. But while I was watching his webinar, I figured out something else, because I was studying wave analysis at the time. And I figured out something totally different. And then my eyes went like, whoa, this is a life-changing. And from there, it just went upwards. What we're doing today in the trading room is not what I knew 2 years ago. It's much better. What is going to be 2 years from now? Well, I hope we'll all see. Now, you can spend that time and thing and try to figure it out on your own, or you can save the time and learn it faster, much faster, right? It's like me trying to go and figure out, I don't know, some simple, I don't know, well, give me gravity, right? Rather than read one of Newton's books and learn gravity, I could go figure it out on my own, right? I think the idea is to probably learn it. It's already figured out, right? So just go learn it. You don't have to go spend that time to figure it out. You don't have to go on an island where, you know, there's no knowledge and try to figure out what gravity is about, or figure out even if you know about gravity or even if it exists. So there's no point in doing that. Once knowledge is there, gather the knowledge and then expand on that. That's the whole point. Let's go. What's the next question? No, there was a question, and somebody asked me about a course. I can't remember what's the question because I don't. Let me see if I can get it back here. Okay, yes, the guy's name is, the person name is Sassy Linda on this place it's supposed to be. I don't know if the person's in the room. Maybe they'll watch a recording. So the question is about the trading room. I told them to join. I'll answer the question here because I didn't want to write too much. What days? The question is a quick question. What time and days do you offer the training? I'm in the United States. Is it a one-by-one trading or group trading? It's a group trading. It goes like this. When you join our group, first thing you will get access to all the training we did before. So you're going to get access to 3 different training classes that happened before, 3 different sessions. Each one has about 10 videos. One is mostly technical. The other one mostly is the same wave analysis. The other one is mostly on patterns, and the next one is mostly about trading. You will have to go through all 3 of those. And then we do it live, where I'm going to repeat all of that. We're going to take Q&A. And I don't know what the next class would look like. I'm telling you that in all honesty. I don't know how I'll structure it, but no 2 classes are alike. That's the difference with what you get here. And when you buy a course from somebody, is what you get. Most of those guys selling wave analysis course are teaching you what they stole from me 4 years ago, or 10 years ago, sorry. What they stole from me then is what they're teaching you today. If you do it in my class, you're probably going to have new materials coming up in the next group. I don't know what it's going to be in the next one starting in November, mid-November somewhere. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm honest about it. I don't know what it's going to be, but I will come up with some great things for you. Right? It's all about knowledge, right? What are the points that define good money management and good trading management? Well, trading management has its own set of rules depending on what strategy you're using to trade and how you're going to manage a trade, right? So I can give you those rules here. I think you understand that. Money management is even simpler than that. Money management is the ability for you to handle risk. I think a lot of people define money management like if you trade 1%. I think the guy I learned from, he used to give me this. He used to give us this table, you know, where he has this big calculation. If you risk 0.5%, if you risk 1%, if you risk 2%, if you risk 10%, and it looked beautiful. Like how much trades you need to take to lose your account, how much trade you need to take to lose your account, how much trade you want money you're going to make, and all of that. And it was all BS. Mathematically, it looked good. In reality, it's BS. You know what trade management, money management is? How you handle risk, right? You can have $1 million account and you can put on a one standard lot trade and you start to panic. As soon as it goes against you 10 pip, you start to panic. If that happens to you, you can't put on one standard lot. The size of your account is irrelevant. Trading should not make you panic. You should not panic when you trade. You should get some nervousness, but controllable nervousness, right? You can't be absolutely, you know, like careless, then you would mess it up. You have to feel enough pressure that is regular in anything. Like if you're going to do something that will make you a little nervous, but not enough to make it. And if it doesn't matter what size you put on, if you're putting on the smallest lot size and you're panicking, you have to stop trading live. Do not put on a live trade because you're psychologically not ready for that. You're ill prepared. It means you either don't have the knowledge enough to know, you're scared of the chart because you don't know what it's going to do. You have made so many losses that every another loss is going to kill you. Literally, I mean, not physically, but literally mentally killing you. And you have to stop trading live. You have to take some time off, get some more knowledge, understand what it's going to do, demo trade, gain back your confidence, then come back to trade. Right? So money management is a psychological thing more than it is a physical thing. I do not take one standard way in my trading. I do not trade 1% or 0.5 or 2%, and then my trades vary. They vary. If I like this trade and I have a lot of confidence in that one, I could put 2% risk. If I think it's a very high risk, I might go to 0.5% risk. Right? I would change it depending on my confidence in any given setup. And where is it? Where am I taking it from? What are the risks to rewards I'm going to get? If I think it's a high risk trade, but it has 10 times reward, if I take it at this point, I could take it to 0.5 because I would still get 5%. If it goes where I think it's going to go. If I'm taking it at a point where the risk is very low, but the stop is very huge and I'm not going to get much a one-to-one trade, then I may take it at 1% or 2%, right? Because it's very low risk, but I'm only going to get one-to-one and you want to make some money, so you take it more than you would normally take it. I can handle those risks? Yes. Psychologically, if you can handle it, well, there is no problem to it, right? It's like asking Warren Buffett. How do you spend your money in different stocks? He says, I buy each stock 1% or 2% of my portfolio. No, he varies them depending on what he thinks of the stock, right? Some stocks he's holding 5% of his portfolio. Some of them are 10% of his portfolio. You follow? He doesn't say, well, each one I'm going to put 1% in or each one 5%. He varies them depending on how he assesses the risk of each one and how he assesses the profit he's going to get from them and how safe those stocks are. Right? So he will use his method of analyzing how safe they are, what the risk to reward is, and all of that. And then he will decide what percent of his portfolio goes into that. It's the same thing like you trading. Literally the same thing like you trading. Every trade you take has its own risk, has its own risk to reward, and should be analyzed separately from the previous trade. And that's where money management will vary. But the number one thing you should know is your ability to handle the risk you're going to take. More traders fail because they cannot handle the risk, or more traders will not click a trade because of fear that they cannot handle the risk of a loss. It doesn't matter whether they win or loss. I did that in the yen this morning. Those who were like, go back and watch this morning one. I did it in the yen. Let's go back to the 15 minutes. And this was the sell setup. And you should go back and watch it because I'm going to explain what I say and then you'll say, we put this arrow and we said we were expecting this to come back and do this. And I say you could put an entry order here to sell, but don't put your stop here. Put your stop above here and double your risk. Which means if you normally risk 1%, put a 2% risk on because you're only going to get 1 to 1. So if you want to make 1%, right? If you put your stop here, you might make more than 1%, but the risk is too high. You're going to lose. You can lose it easily, right? It could come here, tag you, and then drop. And you lost whatever you risked. The reason for putting it here is to say, well, okay, if it comes here and go there, we might take off the trade, but we're not going to lose anything. We're going to get break even or so. That's the whole difference. So what I say when you double your risk and put it there is because, yeah, you still want the 1% here. If you put your stop here, you would make 1 and you get 1. So why put the stop here, put it here, double the risk and get the same thing you're going to get. So the outcome is the same. You risk a little more, but it's a manageable risk. I didn't think for no reason. I mean, it would have to be 1 in a million that is going to tag you here and do that. Right? Remember the guy said BOJ wants it to get strong? So I'm actually going with them. The best outcome would be doing this, not doing that. See the difference? And at the same time, we went and we bought 4 other yen pairs afterwards. That's the magic of trading. How many strategies do you have for trading? Not a lot of strategies, to be honest, just a few. But it's about the analysis, right? It's about the analysis. It's mostly about the analysis. If you have good analysis, everything, it will be lined up. Strategies are easy to create it, to be, to make. It's easy to create a strategy. That's why most people like to sell you strategies without the analysis. Like if I see a pin bar, I'll wait until it pull back 50% of the pin bar, then put the buy and put the stop under the pin bar. Well, it sounds like a good strategy, and they may even show you a few places where it worked. In general, it's not going to work. But as a strategy, there's a strategy for you. $200, you can buy it. It's useless, but you just throw away $200. So that's okay. He might even sell it for $50. You just need 1 million people to buy it because it's useless. Right? He's not going to train you to trade. He's not going to teach you to analyze the chart because he doesn't know how to analyze it himself. But he can sell you a strategy that he's created, and that's easy to do. But most of them are useless. I actually saw a video, well, not a video, an ad where the guy says you only need to learn this strategy for 15 minutes and you're going to make, I don't know how much, $1,000 a day. And I'm like, what if my account is only $500? How would I still make your couple $1,000 a day? Right? It's impossible. But that's what he's saying in his selling that strategy to people. And who doesn't want to make a couple $1,000 a day? Put your hands up if you don't want to make a couple $1,000 a day. See, we all want to, but none of us are asking what are the reality of it. What are the possibilities of that actually happening? What do you need to have make that happen? He's not telling you all of that when he's selling in that. He's just selling you something that you're going to buy, and then he's going to run away with your money, and then that's it. You never see him again. Right? So with that said, I'll leave you guys here. Have fun, trade with care. See all of you tomorrow. Don't forget to invite your friends over. If they trade, if they don't trade, don't encourage them. So if they're traders, bring them over and let's have fun.
Please, can you look at natural gas for me, please? Before you...
Natural gas. Okay, yes, thank you. No problem. We'll do that. Okay, this is up. Don't trade it up as yet. Wait for flags above the top. Wait for it because it's more like a reversal point. We still haven't got this, right? Let's go back in the 4 hours and see if there's anything like that in the past.
Thank you.
There's a lot of them, 1, 2, 3. But what I'm looking at is this consolidation here. See this?
Yeah.
Good. So we were expecting this to come back here. I would say look for a sell setup from the top. If we pull all of this across the line here, then this is going to totally
that's what
cover.
I did.
Yeah, well, then this one is totally down. You follow?
Okay.
The more you put the pattern behind, the more the possibility for downside. So wait for a sell setup. Let it go up, and then give you a sell setup. Don't chase it.
Okay.
Let it break the top and wait for the sell. The sell will be rewarding. Any buy at the top there is too risky. It's not even worth it. So let it be and let it come, and then when we break the top, look for a sell setup. Tomorrow we might get a sell setup in it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, there's a question. Somebody's in the selling the EuroCAD. Why would you do that? Since Monday, I was telling you we were buying the EuroCAD. We're not selling it. Not the EuroCAD, not the pound CAD. I actually shows those trading details. It's still there. Here's what you're going to do. Depending on where you are, send me a snapshot of the trade on Skype, and I'll tell you what to do with it. I need to know where your entry is, and tell me what risk you have open in it. What percentage risk you have open it, so we can decide whether you will wait for a pullback to close or whether you need to close it immediately. Send me on Skype. Send me a snapshot and tell me the percentage. We'll help you there. Okay, guys, all of you take care, trade with care. Oh, that's a good question. The psychology and the mindset is based on the practice or books you read. Practice. Practice, practice, practice. There's nothing to practice. Why do you think we have lifetime access and 5 times a day live session? Practice. You can read all the books you want, watch all the videos you want, join all the free sessions like this. You're never going to be a trader until you practice the trade. And that's why we have live sessions that allow you to practice the trade and allow you to get help while you're practicing. Every time you join the trading room for the 5 times a day we do it, or 6 times, depending how often my traders want to go in, you will have people in there helping you and guide. So there, you can read all the psychology books you want, but that's not going to help you anywhere, right? You need to practice. You need to click the trade, live through it, manage it, repeat it. And the more you do that, the more you develop the psychology of how to handle each trade, the less nervous you become when you click another trade. Every other trade you click will be less nervous than the previous one, as long as you manage them properly. So leave you guys with that. See you tomorrow. Don't forget to go watch the videos you missed, right? And share them. Thank you for coming. See all of you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.